Let us get on to the 16th stanza of Bhajagovindam, composed by Adi Shankaracharya. This stanza is attributed to one of the disciples of Shankara known as Subodha. Subodha. Su means great or good. Bodha is actually narration or teaching. So, a great teacher. That is what Subodha means. This stanza is attributed to him. It's beautiful. It talks about how wretched and poor a human being is. In the sense, I'm not even talking about the rich and the middle class people. The actual poor people who are actually poor, they also do not realize that they should exit this life and birth cycle. What are they hoping for? So he's giving an extreme case where someone is very poor and still wants to hang on to this life. Of course, suicide is not the solution. The whole exit from birth and death is the solution. Suicide will only lead you or push you into one more birth after this death. That's not a solution for anything. Probably you will have even more of a wretched life after this. No, that's not the solution at all. So this is how it goes. अग्रे वह्निः पृष्ठे भानुः रात्रौ चुबुकसमर्पितजानुः करतलभिक्षास्तरुतलवासः तदपिदमुञ्चत्याशापाशः. What does this basically mean? Agre Vahnihi. This guy doesn't have a place to stay. So he's staying outside and he's sitting in front of a bonfire. He's lit up some scraps and there is fire in front of him, keeping him warm. And to his back, there is just the sun during the daytime. Because during the daytime, to sit facing the sun is too harsh because this guy is homeless. Mornings he faces his back towards the sun. Nights he is just facing his front towards a bonfire. And night he doesn't even have a blanket to sleep or a bed or a mattress to sleep. He is just hugging himself, curling up into a ball and hugging himself and sleeping to keep the cold out. And he doesn't even have any possessions. He is folding his palms of the hands into the shape of a bowl to beg, and people are throwing food into his hands from which he is eating. He doesn't have a place to sleep, so he sleeps beneath a tree at the night. Despite all this, he is still bound by desires. Subodha finds it very pathetic. Like, what is this human life? What are you looking forward for? Like, he is comparing two things here. One is an actual poor man, or this other way to look at this is a sannyasi who has renounced everything and still has not renounced desire. Both are almost the same. As long as you still have desires, asha pasha. Pasha is that rope, asha is the desire. The rope called desire which ties you to this worldly existence. That doesn't leave you despite all this. I mean, imagine most of us don't have very comfortable lives. Okay, maybe if you define comfort as eating food 3 times a day and sleeping on a bed under a roof, yes, all of us have comfortable lives. But what for is all this? These small pleasures which we get sometimes are the anguishes, the sorrows of life, the sadness of life, the pointlessness of life, the sorrows which we have to face over lifetime. Is that all worth it for these small pleasures of sleeping on a bed and stuffing ourselves with some form of food couple of times a day? Just understand, try to imagine. Okay, if you are the richest man on the earth, maybe you are still living your life and your dream life and maybe you're carried away. You, me, what are we getting carried away with? This is what Subodha is pointing out to, right? If someone is living a heavenly life on earth, okay, maybe you still want to be here in the hope that in the next life also you will be very rich. Okay, what about ordinary people who are anyway struggling to feed themselves, to clothe themselves, struggling to fulfill their basic desires? Okay, fine, you and me are able to fulfill our basic desires, but beyond that nothing is getting fulfilled. On what hope do we still want to be here? With the hope that next life something better would come up? This life nothing is happening. Most of your desires are unfulfilled. Forget desires. Even if we fulfill some of your desires, the universe fulfills it. It never ends. You come up with few more desires. Where does it end? And despite your sad situation, you still are hoping something out of this life. Why don't you start realizing that you are stuck here and start looking for an exit? How do you exit? Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam, Bhajamudhamate. O ignorant mind, start calling out the Lord's name. Worship the Lord. He's the only one who can get you out of this cycles of birth and death. This is unending. Okay, maybe next life you are a little bit richer, but do you think you will be a little bit happier? No. With more money, more desires, and more unfulfilled desires. As simple as that. So he says at least use poverty as an excuse, as a tool to get out of this. Okay, rich people are unable to get out. Okay, they're too attached. Why is a poor man not going ahead spiritually? At least you should. Correct? A middle class man, at least you should. Because what's there for you here? Right? On what hopes? That is the meaning of the 16th stanza of Bhajagovindam, where he is straight away pointing out that actually poverty is an amazing tool. In fact, in Mahabharata, Kunti, who is the mother of Pandavas, and she actually meets Krishna once, and Krishna is the Lord Krishna, and she tells him, I'm so happy that we have so many problems in life. And Krishna asks why. She says, as long as we have problems in life, we think about you, we think about God. Maybe if we never had any problems in our life, we probably would just forget God. So I just want to be full of problems. It's fine as long as my lips call out the Lord's name. That is what Kunti says. So she has understood. She has understood that problems are probably better in terms of spiritual realization, because you at least call out for help. You call out to God. If there is no problem, who remembers God, right? Even in your life, probably you thought about God the most when you needed Him the most, because you had the biggest problems, according to you, the biggest problems in life. Is it not? So, Subodha here, which is, he's a part of the composition of Bhajagovindam, he contributed this stanza. So, until we get to the 17th stanza, see you guys. Bye-bye.